All right, so
The history of tall bicycles.
Yeah.
We're going to explain this to you, the internet, to try to help you understand. It is a fairly pervasive phenomenon now in the early 21st century.
yeah, so we had one viewer asking about tall bikes
Yeah.
and what the deal with those are. So do you want to start with when they were invented?
They were invented in 2006 in Williamsburg, Brooklyn, because of an especially vicious strain of rat. They grew to about 3 feet tall.
But the thing is, they could jump about
Yeah.
5 feet.
Yeah. And they would bite at the legs of normal bicyclists. They didn't bite at pedestrians, oddly enough. I think something about the strobing effect of bicycle wheels drove the rats mad with anger.
Yeah, they also didn't like, I forget what they're called, but certain type of scarf. If you would wear a certain type of scarf and non-prescription glasses,
Yeah.
the rats really didn't like that. I think it was something to do with the glare and maybe the noise of wind rustling the scarf.
Flapping. It reminded them of their natural prey, which was tiny seagulls. And pheasants, which used to grow in the area. And so the rats would jump at the legs and try to bite the legs. And so measures had to be taken. These bicyclists had to do something. And lo and behold, one Thorstein Umber Grunwald of 56 Caddington Street, I want to say, decided bravely to take it into himself to create the taller form of bicycle, as opposed to the smaller form of bicycle, which is like here. This was maybe
Tall, two frames.
Yeah, 2 frames.
Sometimes 3.
If you know the rat was especially large, if you're going through an alley.
Well, in Asheville, Tennessee, actually, they had mountain rats which would jump off the sides of the cliffs, and I believe that's where the record for the tallest bike was set.
Yes.
And that was like 20 frames.
I remember that. Yes, it was actually taller than most of the trailers that the residents of Asheville lived in.
Unfortunately, that frame actually broke in one of the first attempts, and the man fell and was immediately devoured by rats.
He died a horrible death.
So that's how they sort of migrated from New York and Williamsburg, and then over to Tennessee.
Really sorry. Okay.
But eventually, the first tall bike mass-produced was by Peugeot in 2008, and
Producer of French cars, also, which should be noted.
and so Peugeot made these, but they also made a special chain that instead of the sprockets on a normal bike, it was driven by saw teeth. So what they would do is they'd have the main sprocket be a rotating saw blade, and then they'd line the chain with little hooks, much like a chainsaw.
Yes.
And this would thwart a lot of the rats because after a while, after about a year, this was made 2 years after the invention of the first tall bike, the rats would try to climb up and they'd actually swing on the chain and use the momentum to catapult themselves up onto the seat of the bicycle.
It's not funny. It's not.
I get nervous. My cousin
Was he attacked
Charles,
by rats?
yeah, he lost his little toe. So it's just sort of
Oh
a
my
nervous
god,
laugh.
is he okay?
Yeah.
Did the gangrene set in before they could get him to the hospital?
No, they managed. Well, they had to cut off about half of his foot. But
Oh my God.
It was just bit on the toe.
Yeah.
And except developing a taste for fine cheeses,
Poor
he's
Charles.
pretty much the same. No, he's a changed man. But
He doesn't go out into the light anymore, does he? That's why?
No, he's grown out the kind of like squirrely facial hair,
Yeah.
and his teeth got a little longer.
That's why also a lot of people in the areas, such as Williamsburg, do have, what's the word? Kind of, you said squirrely, but there's another word I'm trying to think of.
Hip.
Kind of, well, not hip.
Posh.
Wispy. Kind of wispy facial hair, almost like little feelers, little whiskers, because of the rats, because of the rat attacks. There's a band called Rat-a-tat that's actually about that, but it's a play
Yeah,
off
it was
of
a
rat attacks.
misconception because I think Rat-a-tat started in New York.
Yeah.
I'm not entirely sure. But yeah, so the believe it or not, one of the main 2 guys behind it, he has sort of a hearing problem.
Yeah.
He can't really discern notes, but besides that, he can't really discern vocal patterns.
And that's why
so
the music sounds
he
the way
heard
it
people
does.
screaming in the streets before the tall. This was, I think, 2007, like last quarter 2007.
Yeah, around the turn of the year.
Yeah, so this was right before the necessitation of the tall bike. He heard people screaming in the streets, rat-a-tat, rat-a-tat. And he's like, oh yeah, rat-a-tat. Well, he's partially deaf, so rat-a-tat might be a good band name. And so hence the name rat-a-tat.
And the way they sound.
Yes.
So we've just explained tall bicycles and popular music.
Some of it, but
There's more.
Oh, well, no, I was saying some of popular music, but I don't think we can
Oh.
breach the entire subject in one session.
Maybe. You wait.
We might save that for another one.
You wait.
But yeah, so write in and just let us know,
Yeah.
give us a call or however you need
Send
to
your
contact
emails
us.
to tantricsexmaster@gmail.com.
Yep, and we'll get right on that. Thank
All right.
you.